Welcome! Let's learn about tally and frequency tables. As an example, we've got some example data here of grades. Students in Mr. Ranieri's class, can't even pronounce my own name, received the following grades: C, 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 and so on. To analyse this data, we can analyse it a few different ways. You can imagine if there were lots and lots and lots and lots of grades, just not in any order like this, then it's useful to draw up a table. Our table, we're asked to make a tally and frequency table. So we will need a column for the tally, a column for the frequency, and a column, in this case, I'm collecting grades, so a column for the grade. You can see that this is categorical data. All of the responses fit into categories, A, B, C, D, E. So the categories are A, B, C, D, and E. And now I can tally how many times each result occurs. We can go through, and what we do is you cross off one and you put a line for that matching letter. The next one is a C, cross it off and put it here. Cross off the next one, a C, and put it here. When I cross it off, you don't have to cross it off. It's not a requirement. It just makes it easier for you. So you can cross it off. It makes it easier so that you don't lose track of where you are. The next one is an A, and then another A, and then a B, and then a C. I'm about to draw the fifth C. When you get to 5, instead of putting a line next to it, draw the fifth line diagonally so it crosses over. That makes it easier to count groups of 5. Now I've got another C, so I can start my next one here. Every time you get to a group of 5, you cross it off. The next one is a B, and an E, and an A, and a D. Now I can count the frequency, which is how many times each result occurred. An A occurred 3 times, a B occurred 2 times, a C occurred 5 plus 1 is 6 times, and D and E occurred 1 time. To construct a column graph, notice that I'm using grid paper. I've ruled a vertical and horizontal line. I need to put the axis titles, grade, A, B, C, D, and E, and frequency. The frequency is how many times each result occurred. The highest number that I'm going to write is 6. Sometimes you might want to count in 10, 20, 30, and so on. 10, 20, 30. But then all of my results will fit all in this bottom part. It will be too small. Maybe sometimes you can go up in ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That looks pretty good because it uses most of the space. So I'm going to go up in ones. I'll put my tick marks. Notice that I go up in equal increments, up by 1 every time, and that the spacing between them is equal as well. Now let's draw our graph. We're going to graph A, the bar chart for A. Column graph, by the way, is the same as a vertical bar graph. A has a column that goes 3 high. 1, 2, 3. Get your ruler out and draw a rectangle. You can fill it in if you want to. B goes up 2, so B will be a rectangle this big. C goes up to 6, so C goes up to here. D goes up to 1, and E goes up to 1. Once you've finished your graph, I almost forgot. Make sure that your graph has a title as well, student grades. It could be student grades in Mr. Ranieri's class, might make it clearer, but student grades is okay. Once you've finished your graph, just check that you've used a ruler, you got your vertical and horizontal scale, you know, the numbers or the letters or the categories, you've got the lines, you've got the labels, axis titles, grade, frequency, there's a title at the top, and that the numbers are evenly spaced. Once we've got the graph, we can start to answer questions about the data and explore the data. For example, what percentage of students achieved at least a B? Well, which students scored at least a B? These ones didn't, they got a C. These ones scored at least a B, and these ones scored at least a B. At least means a B or higher. So, how many students is this? There are 2 here plus 3 here. That's 5 students. So 5 out of 13 students received at least a B. If you're wondering how I got 13, it's 3 plus 2 plus 6 plus 1 plus 1. That's my answer as a fraction. I can also write the fraction like this. To get it as a percentage, I write it as a fraction and then multiply by 100, and I put a percent sign at the end. The part that you put into your calculator is this: 5 divided by 13 times 100. This fraction bar means divide. 5 divide 13 times 100. On your calculator, you might get something like this. Well, that's what I do anyway. 5 divide 13 times 100. I did mine on the computer. That's why this is a divide on the computer and this is a multiply on the computer. The result was 38 point blah, 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 blah. And I'm giving my answer to 1 decimal place. If I want to round this off to 1 decimal place so that my answer is easier to read, then I put a line after 1 decimal place and I look at the next digit. The next digit is a 6. So do I round up or down on a 6? I round up. So this will go from a 4 to a 5. So it's approximately 38.5%. This symbol here means approximately equal to, and it means that I've rounded it off. You might also see this symbol, and that means the same thing, approximately equal to. I've rounded it off. We have one last question, which uses a word that I don't think I've taught you yet, called outliers. Are there any outliers? Outliers are results that are very different from the others. They're very far away from the other results. Are there any results that were very different from the rest of them? No, there are no values that are far away from the rest. Maybe if everyone got an A and only one person got an E, then that would be an outlier because it is just so different from the rest of the data. I hope this has been helpful, learning about tally and frequency tables, a bit more about calculating percentages, and outliers. Good luck, and make sure you get lots of practice. Practice helps. Bye, everyone.